Auburn seized the momentum over the past week, and they're not letting it go.
Freezing temperatures are likely for several hours inland and a few hours closer to the coast.
Yes.
You are Locked On Auburn, your daily podcast on the Auburn Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, welcome on into Locked On Auburn, your daily Auburn Tigers podcast. I'm your host, Zac Blackerby, and thank you so much for making Locked On Auburn your first listen every single day. Joining us, as he does every Tuesday, for a little Charlie Tuesday action, Auburn Message Board Legend, Charlie5. And I can't imagine somebody that was booging more over Big Cat Weekend than Charlie5. But it just seems like even since Auburn got those two big commits from the two very talented wide receivers on Saturday, and that's kind of been it, with the exception of the Northwestern offensive lineman transfer we may talk about in a second. But the momentum is still there. It's like Auburn got a taste of something that it's never really felt before, and now they can't get enough. And they're like, okay, why can't we get, a TJ Lindsey or a DeAndre Carter or a KJ Bolden? Why not us? And Charlie5, that's just something we haven't really felt before. And it's special. Something special is being built, and Auburn is not letting the momentum go.
Not letting it go. Like yesterday, right in under the wire, you get big Cam Franklin, 5-star defensive lineman from Mississippi. But before the dead period starts, before the season starts, where you can't take any more visits, guess who comes to town? Cam Franklin, and one of his 2025 teammates, Jacoby, I think his name. He's a one of the top linebacker / hybrid safety prospects for 2025. You got 2025 kids now going absolutely berserk. Probably going to see some movement in the 2025 class. Josh Aldridge may have his 2025 class finished before September of 2023. Like it's insane. It's insane. And it's not stopping. Remember, I said the next 14 days, about 7 days ago, are going to be one that we'll never forget. Hey, keep the bug up here. Be reckless bug. That's what I want to see. Reckless bug. Hey, we're going to get everybody. Just think, hey, it's okay to think we're going to get everybody, because it doesn't seem like right of the game for any of them right now. So it should be a huge week. I said, it wouldn't be shocked me if it was as good or better than last week. So let's just keep having fun. Let's keep this ride going, man. Recruiting is so much fun when you got dudes that get after it, and Auburn sells itself. And if you can get them on campus, and oh man, it's so much fun right now.
I'm with you, man. And I guess on that note, I'm a little surprised DeAndre Carter, one of the better offensive linemen from the state of California, I'm surprised he hasn't committed yet. We've seen a bunch of crystal balls be thrown his direction. It seems like he's any day now, right?
Yeah, sure. He is. He's any day now. Maybe be on the watch towards the end of the week. But look, here's one thing I'm learning. These kids like to have graphics. They like to have videos. And also, these are top kids that TV shows, ESPN, your recruiting networks, they want to have videos with these guys, because these are some of the top players in the country. Like DeAndre Carter is the number one inside offensive lineman on 2 of the 4 sites. Like he's a huge deal. So like, that's not just something that he probably wants to just commit off a tweet. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be a big deal. And everybody we do now, I assume, is going to have an announcement date. They may have committed. He could have committed this weekend to the staff. I was like, hey, I got these plans I want to get taken care of, and I want to make it big, make it fun. It also could be the staff to say, hey, let's not just go blow it all on Saturday. Let's stretch this thing out, keep the fun rolling, keep the excitement, keep Auburn,
keep the bug alive,
keep Auburn in the headlines. Cole Pinkston said that after this weekend, like there's kids that aren't even Cole Pinkston from Auburn. There's kids that we may not even be talking about, basically that see what happened this weekend and like, hey, wait a minute, I got to check this Auburn thing out again and see what's going on. Like it's a big deal. It's a good time to have fun and enjoy it.
So do you agree that DeAndre Carter would be your prediction of who's next to commit?
Unless a 2025 guy goes before him, I think he'll be the next 2024 guy to commit in this class.
Who are some candidates, some 2025 candidates you think that would be next?
Sure. So like there's, I think it's Jacoby Hobson possibly. He was here with Cam Franklin. That could be somebody. There's a big time
linebacker.
Yeah, linebacker, safety. He's like a hybrid kind of thing. He's a bigger safety.
Okay.
There's a kid that was here that's one of KJ Bolden's teammates that's made comments like to people that's almost basically like, it's not if, it's when I decommit from Georgia. He's a top 100 player in next year's class. You got JJ Falk, who is Keldrick Falk's brother, who was here for Big Cat Weekend, who put out I think he put out an announcement date. There's several guys that were here that the iron got real, their Auburn struck while the iron was hot. And then you got Cam Franklin, like I said, who was here today, and he's coming back on an official visit for UMass, and then he's committing shortly after that. So like where does it stop? I mean, you got August, tons of stuff that can happen in August. Then now you got Cam Franklin announcement early September. Like you could just have weeks on weeks of just continued Auburn success recruiting.
And then obviously the headliner of that could be next outside of Cam Franklin. I think we all take that in a heartbeat, but KJ Bolden, the number one safety in this class. And it sounds like it's always two schools, but they're like a different combination of four schools.
There's one thing constant though.
Yeah, it's either like Auburn and Ohio State, Auburn and Georgia, Auburn and Florida State. And what do all those scenarios have in common, Charlie5?
It's the AU, baby.
Let's go. Let's go. KJ. Yeah, so that's Saturday, right? And so you talk about keeping the boog alive and holding on to the momentum.
Yeah.
That'd be huge.
And then you got Jalewis Solomon, who's also committing this weekend, who's a top big 4-star defensive back who could be your bookend corner to Jalen Crawford, like one of those big body corners, Georgia guys who are just freak athletes like that. What if those three go this week? Like, I think if those three go this week, Auburn's the number 5 class in the country and number 1 maybe second only to Ohio State in average star ranking. If
average player ranking,
all those guys go this week, like just think about that. It's
a good situation to be in, and I don't think we've brought up TJ Lindsey yet either. And he
could go any minute.
Yeah. So great situation to be in. Coming up, Charlie5 was right, and also fall camp. It starts tomorrow. We are so close. All that coming up on today's edition of Locked On Auburn. Today's show brought to you by our friends at Active Wealth Management. Check out our friend Ford Stokes. He wrote a book. You can go to annuity360.net for a free book. It's about managing your wealth and making money so you can give On to Victory and just have a better life, of course, too. Go to annuity360.net for a free book. Mention Locked On Auburn. He loves Auburn people. And there's an astute observation that you made about the cover of this book, Charlie5.
Yep. You got Benjamin Franklin on the cover. Greatest president ever of the United States. He invented electricity and annuities, and Ford has perfected it.
Ford has access to a fixed indexed annuity that is offering 20% immediate bonus and a 315% participation rate in the BNP Paribas Global H-Factor Index.
Hot and mighty.
I don't know what that means, but it's awesome.
Translation, money.
He makes you bank is what it sounds like. So once again, head over to annuity360.net for a free book. Benjamin Franklin's on the cover. I heard Ford was friends with him, so be sure to check that out. Shout out to our friends at Active Wealth Management. Happy Charlie Tuesday to all who celebrate as Auburn Message Board Legend Charlie5 hangs out with us. I'm going to let you set the stage for this because you wanted me to fish and find this.
I did. I sent you on an errand today.
I ended up not doing it. You did it. You had to like poll some other people that you actually argued with about the segment. You're like, do you remember when we argued about this? Can you scroll up your text and find it? And they answered you. So shout out to them. But all right, so lay the stage for what we're about to do here.
Look, I'm a pretty humble guy, so I don't like to, I don't like to toot my own horn or, whatever. But I think I couldn't really remember the date, but then I found it was August 30th of last year when I talked about how being a coach at Auburn is so much more than just being a ball coach and winning. And that if basically our boosters are not there to be the evil, dark arm that holds us down. They're there. They want to, like any human, if you just show them some affection, show them some love, they'll do whatever they can for you.
Yeah, I mean, it branches out to the issue was you needed somebody that was more than just a head football coach, but a salesman, a CEO, a politician, a fundraiser, all of it.
Yep.
All of it. And so let's just all acknowledge how right Charlie5 was just for a second. This is from August.
Part of your job in any aspect of life, part of your job is making the people above you like you. That is literally like one of the main, not only in jobs, but in friendships and relationships and anything you do. Part of your responsibility is to make people like you. And you can do that by a number of things. You can do that by winning. Winning makes people like you. Look at Dabo Swinney. Like I said, Kirby Smart and what seems to be Jimbo Fisher. Hey, by the way, let Jimbo Fisher not win 10 games this year and see what happens. When they pony up,
they're going to freak out.
When they pony up $15 million for a recruiting class, let that guy not win 10 games this year and see what happens. That's like one of your jobs. One of your jobs when you go into a new place, you may have all the best ideas. You may be right. All your decisions may be right. But if the people that are paying you or the people that are over you don't like you and don't trust you, then why do we expect them to just lay down and let everybody go do whatever the hell they want to do? No, that's your job. That's your job in life.
And then after that, of course, Brian Hartson eventually lost his job, and that's what we were talking about there. But then we saw alignment form. And I think what happened this past weekend is what can happen when Auburn's truly aligned. And I think it's proof. I think it's proof that what happened that night when Cadillac led Auburn to a win against Texas A&M and everybody was in line, I think it's proof that hasn't gone away, Charlie5. That's what we saw this past weekend.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When Alabama went through that 25-year time in the wilderness, where they had a couple of areas where they had some success, but for the most part, they wanted to try to recreate the Bear and redo this and redo that. And hey, hire my boy here and there was a bunch of people pulling in different directions. Finally, they hit rock bottom and they said, it's time to unite. It's time to unite. And they created one of the greatest dynasties in the history of college football. Now, I'm not saying that can be recreated. I don't think it can be recreated, but there is alignment at Auburn right now. There are some hungry folks, and they are being fed, for lack of better words, by a dude that understands how powerful that machine can be. And he's doing it in a myriad of ways. He's active in the community. I know people joke about him playing golf, but he's not just playing golf with like the same guys all the time. He's
always strategic.
He's playing golf at every club in the city.
That's right.
He played in the club championship the morning before of the Auburn University Club before I think he had Big Cat Weekend. Like he's getting to know people. He's getting to know the people that matter. And they're willing to do whatever for him now. Like they're willing to help. Like NIL is going crazy right now. Like they're willing to help in a myriad of ways. And that's because it was more than just, I'm here to coach ball. He's here to be a part of Auburn. He's here to be a part of the community. It's everything. He's doing literally everything that that I said, if someone were to come do this and get alignment, Auburn can be a winner and a competitor fast. And he is making people in Athens and Tuscaloosa very nervous right now. Very, very nervous.
Yep. And you know that because they're going out of their way to say they're not nervous. It's like,
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
Nervous people tell people they're not nervous.
Exactly.
Which is huge. And you mentioned the 2025 linebacker that's committed to Georgia right now. Like, I mean, what a huge flip that would be if that was kind of the trend of things that continued to happen. And I don't think that seems to be a long shot. Like you said, sounds more of a matter of like when it happens, not if. So, and that guy can play. He's also got great hair. So
beautiful hair. Beautiful.
There's
beautiful.
That's important that we note that. So, what a moment. What a weekend that certainly was. And so now we get to carry that momentum into fall camp, which is definitely the next phase of this because, he's had pretty much close to a perfect offseason. It wasn't
everything
perfect.
Could go right. Everything that could go right has gone right.
I mean, just about everything. I can't imagine the offseason being much better than it was, given all the circumstances and kind of some of the battles he had to face when he came in. But now it's like you got to prepare for a football team.
Yes.
And I mean, it seemed like Auburn got better in the spring. He highlighted a few position groups in the spring that got better, specifically linebackers. And then the position groups that never got a positive report from him, they totally changed. Like the wide receiver room is vastly different. And there's a chance you get 3 new starters at the wide receiver room that came in since spring was over, just because of the nature of Caleb Burton. Apparently he's really turning it on. I talked to somebody earlier today or yesterday about that. And then obviously Shane Hooks, Jair Shorter. We'll certainly see what happens with all of those guys. But the position groups that he didn't hear good things about or didn't talk positively on, he changed. The other one was the pass rush and the Jack linebacker situation. He went out and got a few more of those guys that can kind of bolster that room and back up Elijah McAllister and move Keldrick Falk around the defensive end just to get him on the field so everything he's done has made sense. But now, starting tomorrow, you have to make the football team better through development. You have to put together the scheme and you have to get ready to win some football games. Everything up to this point has been awesome. It's been so fun. It's been great. But now you've got to put a football team together on the field. It's been put together on paper. You got to put it together on the field.
Yes, you have to prove what you've been selling. You've got to prove what you've been selling. And it may not be 10 wins, but it may be progression, getting better, being competitive, being tough. Those things, now it's time to see it. And like you said, he's bolstered positions that have traditionally held us back in literally an off season. You add the kid from Northwestern who's not necessarily going to be a huge factor maybe in 2023, but he's a ready-made true freshman who's already been through spring workouts. Now, granted, we got help.
I mean, I guess we should talk about him. Dylan Cinda. I do not think Dylan Cinda, he's a former 4-star player, so you love that. But I don't think he's part of the calculus for the 2023 team.
No.
But, there's a lot of folks that are freaking out that there's not a whole lot of offensive linemen in this year's class, in the 2024 class, which you're correct. There's 0 at the time of us recording this.
Now,
treat him as one of them because he's not going to really get a whole lot of playing time, I don't think, this year, unless he's significantly better than I realize, or injuries or something like that. I don't think the plan is for him to play this year. Treat him as a young guy coming in, and he just gets to sit a year and go ahead and be in the system. It's a good situation.
Oh yeah. And he's already been through college weight training through spring. So he's
if Northwestern counts, yes.
Hey, they have decent.
I'm joking.
I feel like they have decent offensive linemen. Penn State wanted this guy in the portal. I think Michigan State. He had Michigan State and Iowa offers out of high school. I'll take any offensive lineman that has ever stepped foot on campus at Iowa, even if it was for just a visit. They just seem like they always have solid offensive linemen. But
you think Dylan Cinda and Elijah McAllister are just going to sit in the corner and be like, we are so much smarter than everybody else here?
Literally everyone here.
Look at all these dumb people.
Hey, they a lot Elijah for sure. Dylan hadn't been there long enough, man. So we'll have to see on that one. But Elijah,
he'll go to media days next year, probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, man,
I want to talk about some of the things that we want to see early in fall camp.
Yeah.
Which starts tomorrow in just a moment, right here on Locked On Auburn. Today's show brought to you by our friends at eBay Motors. For a championship team, it's all about making sure every player is a perfect fit, and it's the same when it comes to your vehicle. Every part needs to fit just right. So the next time you need parts and accessories, head to eBay Motors, and with eBay Guaranteed Fit, you can make sure every part you need fits just right the first time around. Just add your ride to my garage and look for the green check mark to know your part will fit, or you get your money back. And with over 122 million parts to choose from, you'll be back in the game in no time. After all, it's easy to bring home a win when the right parts are guaranteed. Get the right parts, the right fit, and the right prices on ebaymotors.com. eBay Guaranteed Fit, only available to U.S. customers. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. Auburn family, let's ride. Happy Charlie Tuesday. Final few minutes here as we look ahead with fall camp starting tomorrow. The first on-field practice is Thursday, but they report tomorrow. We'll get some reports as far as, maybe some guys are looking better. Maybe there are some guys that don't necessarily make it. So we'll have a little bit of news tomorrow, but we get an open practice window on Thursday. So we'll definitely have some stuff later this week. I'll probably go live Thursday afternoon to recap that as well if I've got time. So a lot of exciting stuff coming up. But Charlie5, as far as early stages of fall camp, I want to see a similar offensive line that we saw from spring. I don't want to see anything crazy. I want to see those same guys battling for those two guard spots. I want to get that solidified as early as possible because we know who the tackles in the center is going to be. And I want to see what happens with the nickel position, just because there's been some personnel change at that position. And I want to see if Keontae Scott emerges early to be that guy.
I love it. Some things I want to see is I want to find out who's really going to be the 1-2 punch at linebacker. Is it going to be, has Steiner really improved like some of the things that we've read that, Josh Aldrich says, about him? Is that going to be something, or is this going to be Larry Nixon, who's a tackling machine, come in and take over? Is Austin Keys going to continue to be the beast linebacker that he started coming into last year and carry that over this year? Like there's options there. And then obviously I want to
Did you see the video of Eugene Asante, another linebacker, dancing with Obby? Did you see that?
I haven't seen that.
I watched it 3 or 4 times. I liked it.
Hey, if you can dance, you can play middle linebacker. I've read that somewhere.
Well, I watched it a few times. I didn't know if he was like good at it or not, but I was just like, it just drew me in.
Well, if it's captivating, that's all that matters.
That's right.
He'll be captivating opposing offensive players too, hopefully.
Yeah.
So, and then quarterback, obviously, I want to see something decisive pretty quick. Hugh said 10 days. He had a 10-day plan. Just go ahead and start that, get that going fast, and let's get rapport, whoever it may be, and just go ahead and start building the team around them. And then I'm obviously very intrigued by wide receivers. I'm not worried about my man Rivaldo. I know he's going to ball out.
I kind of think wide receiver is going to be the toughest thing to get any kind of information on, because I kind of think they're going to rotate a bunch against UMass. I think that's going to be the position group we know the least about throughout fall camp is wide receiver. And
that may be by design, because that's going to be the ones that you probably have the least amount of film on from a, like, I don't know, in like against top competition. So that could be the biggest question mark when you go into a big game, not really knowing how to prepare for them, especially if you're rotating a bunch of dudes in. But those three: linebacker, quarterback, and wide receiver. And then, safety, we're a little – it seems like maybe we might be a little thin there. What's the rotation there too? But other than that, I think we're pretty solid everywhere else.
Yeah, there's a few guys you feel really good about. Like I love Jalen Simpson back there. I love Zion Puckett back there. Then I think there's a little bit of a drop off because there's differing opinions on Donovan Kaufman. It didn't sound like he had a good spring, but maybe he can put it together.
Did not hear his name a lot at all.
No, he kind of got buried in the depth chart. So we'll see. We'll see how he bounces back. But yeah, there's a lot of upside on this roster. We'll be with you every step of the way throughout fall camp, of course, into the season. Charlie5, how can people give you some love, brother?
Absolutely. Find me on Twitter at @the_Charlie_5 and the Locked On Auburn Discord every single day on auburnlive.com, the corner message board, or weekly on the Dad Bod Golf Pod.
Yes, and that Discord that he mentioned, you can find it. The link is in the episode description down below. It is free. All you have to do is click the link. It says Discord. It's very, very fun time. And also, please click that subscribe button if you enjoy our content. We're trying to get to 12,000 before the season gets going. Until then, find all my written work at auburndaily.com, and we will see you tomorrow. This has been Locked On Auburn.